So I think I changed my mind about something. When I first started out as a doula, a lot of people talked about a good death, right? You heard about it in training and in all of the Facebook groups and the professional development sessions about how important end-of-life doulas are because they help people have good deaths. And I thought, yeah, that's great. We want people to have better deaths. I have my own personal story of a family member whose death was less than ideal. And if we'd had a doula and we'd had different information, we probably would have made different choices and she could have had a better death. And then I started going out into the community and doing these presentations on end-of-life literacy and how to prepare for a good death. And I talked to somebody who had supported their mom through her dying process. And she told this story about her mom's death. And she really felt like her mom didn't have a good death. And as the listener, it was really clear to me that the things that made her mom's death a bad one were outside of her control, but she felt a ton of guilt about them. And it really weighed on me, right? I thought the last thing we need is a measuring stick at the end of life to say, like, how good are you doing? Are you giving this person a good death? And so I changed my language. I started talking about having a well-supported death. You can still do all of the planning. You can still figure out what your values are and articulate them to family and friends so that they can support you. You can have a well-supported death. And that felt different than a good death. And it felt important and right. And so I've been talking about that. But I just had a client meeting today. And I shared my philosophy about, like, you know, I don't really talk about a good death. I talk about a well-supported death. And this client looked at me and she said, I gave my wife a good death, and that was really important to me. And so again, I'm like, yeah, you worked really hard. You centered her values. You were a caregiver for a long time. Of course, that's really important to you. So I think I might be changing my mind about language again. My thinking was a little too black and white, and haven't made a decision yet, but we'll see. We'll see what I come up with.